So, I'm one of those assholes that doesn't do lists until really before the Oscars, or really nothing at all, so I usually just let people ask me what I liked and what I didn't like last year. So, thanks to this year, because of the Olympics in Sochi, we don't get our Oscars until early March. And I decided as a little treat to give my least favorite and favorite list. We'll start off with the least favorite because negative is more fun. And I've only conjured up around five, not 10. Least favorites. I haven't seen a lot of the, critically bad ones. Well, maybe the first two are considered critically bad, but other than that, it's not really a big deal. Well, not a big deal. Other than that, it's just mostly my opinion. If you like any of the films on the list, or dislike any of the films on the next list, which will be another video, that's your opinion. I applaud you if you like any of these films for whatsoever. I'd like to hear your opinion, what your least favorites were, or most hated, whatever. I just don't like using hate. It's a really strong word, but okay, maybe the first two I really hate. But yeah, here's my 5 least favorite films of 2013. I was debating whether or not to put The Lone Ranger or this in the number 5 spot. And while, yeah, The Lone Ranger is a hot mess of a movie, for several good reasons, including, that, I felt like this was more disappointing. I mean, I followed, the whole Lone Ranger production woes, and it's like, if there's, production woes in a big budget film, it's probably usually not gonna come out as good as planned, as best as they could try. And I give them effort for trying, I guess, even though, those questionable things they decided to put. Plus, I really like the last 10 or 15 minutes where it actually felt like a Lone Ranger movie. More of that, please. But Place Beyond the Pines was made by a director he made Blue Valentine. And I really love Blue Valentine. It's very good acting, good character study, very character-driven, and it was a well-done film. But, God, I don't know what he was thinking with this film. I probably like maybe the first act of this. But after that, it just, personally, for me, it goes downhill. I just don't really care about the characters. I think we're really just, it stopped giving any fucks, was the last third were spoilers, and yeah, there'll be spoilers for the rest of these, sort of, depending, where they look at their kids, and it's like, there's one spot where, I guess, one of the dads was, what's his face? Bradley Cooper's son, Bradley Cooper helps, puts the bail for Ryan Gosling's son, and you think it should end there, but no, it keeps going with those sons, and I really don't care. I think it could have ended as he cares about Ryan Gosling, even though he was an awful criminal. That's his guilt. It could have ended there, but it just kept going and going for another 30 minutes, and I'm like, stop, I don't care about these druggy kids in the middle of nowhere. I really don't care. Stop it right now. But, yeah, that's Place Beyond the Pines. Ugh, God, what a disappointment. Number 4, American Hustle. Yeah, this movie has gotten... I've met people who I guess like it, or people who like it but don't think, and I'm one of those people. Well, no, I don't like it. But there are people who like it but don't think it's Oscar-worthy. And yeah, that's one of my things, but that's a whole other argument. Just from, I think it's similar to Place Beyond the Pines. It has although it's mostly with the actors here. They're all very good actors. I love seeing these actors perform, but good God, it was just David O. Russell trying to remake Goodfellas. It was his version of Goodfellas, and yeah, there's a cameo by someone from Goodfellas in here, and it's like, man, you're really just trying to be, you're just playing out, ripping off Goodfellas and Martin Scorsese films, and I just remember leaving out of it thinking, good God, I want to go see a Martin Scorsese film. And what's funny is, a Martin Scorsese film is nominated this year, and you're better off watching that one than this, let me just say. We'll get to him later. But yeah, and yeah, I'm gonna be one of those people, if Jennifer Lawrence wins over, specifically for me, it's Lupita Nyong'o from 12 Years a Slave. If she wins over her, I'm not gonna live it down. That's gonna be worse than when I got mad. The last time I got pretty mad was, well, it was actually last year too. It was Jennifer Lawrence winning over Jessica Chastain, or even Emmanuel Riva from Amour. Like, personally, I thought those two did better jobs than her in Silver Linings Playbook. Which, speaking of, this is only the third O. Russell film, and I don't know if I want to give the guy another chance. I really like The Fighter. I think it worked, his style worked better with that story. Silver Linings Playbook, oh boy, I have so many problems with it. It started off good, and then probably about after 30 minutes, I'm just like, oh, you're just jumping into every rom-com, or even like indie rom-com cliche ever. And this was just like the nail in the coffin for me. No more David O. Russell. Leave. And also, award ceremonies, stop nominating him. He's really not that good. Stop it. And any actor who's worked with him before, especially Jennifer Lawrence, run away from him. You know, especially after these comments he made about that. Yeah, that's not good. Number 3, A Good Day to Die Hard. Oh God, yeah, this one was pretty bad. And it's like, I've only seen the first Die Hard, and that's a classic. That's a very well done action film. It's probably one of the best Christmas movies ever. I'm one of those people. But, good God, it's like, they just threw out the purpose of, like, the original Die Hard. Not too sure about the other one, so sorry about this, but they just, I've heard even from people who even like the sequels, is like, they think they're good or guilty pleasures, or they're like, they're fun to watch. They threw out the whole basic idea that John McClane is your average Joe, and he's not indestructible. He could easily die in any of this, but he can still survive, granted bleeding a shit ton. This one just throws that out the window, and they're like, yeah, he's a superhero, nothing can stop him, and oh God, it just gets so ridiculous where it's like, it's not even hilarious ridiculous, it's just like, stop it. Also, it's a total snooze fest. Yeah. What a disappointment. I mean, we never really had high expectations. Okay, the next two are my big ones that I have a problem with. Maybe it's personally for ethical reasons, sort of, but you'll see. Number 2, Temptation. Oh my God. I may talk about this for possibly a future episode, and it's the first Tyler Perry movie I've seen, like, that's actually, like, directed by him, written by him. Don't count Precious, because that was more him promoting it, and he actually did good in promoting that movie, because I personally think that's really good, but I digress. Oh God, this movie was really, really bad. It's awful pacing. People look really confused. The actors look really confused in this. But I think the thing that really made me mad is the message of this movie. It basically says, again, spoilers. You might want to mute this unless if you want to see. The message of this movie is, if you're not a good Christian woman, and if you're not faithful to your husband, you're gonna get HIV. And that's okay. That's God's plan. Oh, God, Tyler Perry, were you... I don't know. And it's like, I've seen reviews that people like, is this Lifetime movie bad? No, at least Lifetime movies are hilariously bad, and you can just laugh at how ridiculous they are. This just makes you... Personally, I felt very offended by that as a woman. It's like, so... This will happen to me if I was in that same situation. Ugh. Moving on to my number one. Number one. The Host. Oh, again. I might do this for a future episode. It was so bad. It was so bad. I mean... You couldn't... I mean, generally, you can't really salvage books made from Stephenie Meyer into film. They're gonna be ridiculous and have a bunch of metaphors or whatever. I don't know where to begin with this one. Oh, okay, I'll start with this. At least with, like, the Twilight movies, and I'm one of those people who can't stand it, but oh well, trend's over. Oh, God. At least with those, the actors, especially like Kristen Stewart and Rob Pattinson, they don't really like the source material to begin with. They don't like it. And they're just like, whatever, I'm just here for the paycheck. And they can ham it up and they can make it somewhat laughably tolerable because it's a ridiculous book to begin with. This movie, you can't really salvage from this. And then I think that's, well, the worst thing is, like, I think the thing that, okay, the worst part about this movie is the two actresses, Saoirse Ronan and Diane Kruger. They're probably trying hard. They probably tried really hard not to think, oh God, this script. But they really needed the money, and they probably thought, oh, it's a Stephenie Meyer-based thing. It'll probably be successful and boost my career more, but it didn't. It was sort of a box office bomb to a certain extent. But, good God, especially Saoirse Ronan, I'm like, God, this is gonna, when I saw, like, the box, oh God, this is gonna be, like, a killer for her, and then, oh God, it's just really stupid. Shitty story, the worst dialogue imaginable, worst acting, and it's really sad when two actors you really like, actresses, or like even the other, like you really like, are just trying to make the dialogue sound believable, and, oh God, I'll talk about it more. Good things is at least Saoirse did a Wes Anderson film right after this, which is coming out soon. And I'm hoping it's good. She looks good in it, and I'm so glad that she still has a career after this, and probably Diane Kruger too, but, oh God. I'm gonna need a break before I talk about the good stuff.